titovor, in ikesh titapo. Now, some say that the word never titovor means people who are clean, you will treat them cleanly. In ikesh titapo, and with the crooked one, you will be sharp, crooked. So God behaves towards us as we behave towards Him. If people would remember that, then would be less surprised as to what happens in life. Towards the end of the Second World War, the German General Staff became aware, it was almost the last 2 weeks of the war, they became aware that the English had successfully broken the code, and that during the entire Second World War, the English had broken the German code, so they knew every battle order before it was given. You have to understand how great the German army was, that fighting under such a handicap, it still almost won the war. But that the English were aware in advance of for instance, of all the bombing targets. Churchill, for instance, allowed that the bombing raid against the English city of Coventry, which destroyed the ancient cathedral and killed hundreds and hundreds of people, Churchill allowed it to happen because he said that otherwise the Germans would catch on that the English have their code. And therefore, he said, we have to allow some of their raids to be successful as though they're a surprise, as we're unprepared. Terrible life and death decision. But the English knew that they were coming there. They just chose not to defend in order to keep the cover. But at the end of the war, the Germans discovered that they were had. And it's remarkable, these people who were such murderers and who destroyed millions of people and who had no moral compunction complained to the British that they did not fight the war fairly. It wasn't fought according to the rules because you stole our plan. But that's in ikesh titapo. You could not fight a war fairly against Nazi Germany. There are no rules, just as there are very little rules against fighting a war with our cousins fairly. It doesn't live up to the standards that Western society, that Bishop Tutu would like. That's in ikesh titapo. Yes, am oni toshia, and you will save the poor and afflicted people, meaning the people of Israel, the underdog. One of the great ideas in the Tanakh is that the Lord is always on the side of the underdog. The poor people who have no way to save themselves, you will save us. Veinecho al romim tashpil, and your eyes will be set against romim, the haughty, those who raise themselves on high, those who are arrogant, and tashpil, you will bring them down. The Talmud says that the worst of all character traits is haughtiness, pride, hubris, because from that stem all other bad traits. And